July 31st, 1944, North Atlantic, west of the Isles of Scilly. HMS Loch Killin detected a submerged contact at 1,200 yards. Standard procedure called for the frigate to pass directly over the U-boat and drop depth charges by estimate. The submarine would hear the escort approaching, take evasive action, and likely escape. Instead, Loch Killin fired 3 depth charges simultaneously, while still maintaining S-contact. The projectiles arced forward through the air and entered the water 275 yards ahead of the submarine. They sank together in a perfect triangle pattern. All 3 detonated simultaneously at the exact depth of the U-boat. U-boat 333 broke apart. Debris surfaced 90 seconds later. The weapon that achieved this was Squid, and it would revolutionize anti-submarine warfare with a kill rate no depth charge system ever matched. The problem with conventional depth charges was fundamental. An escort had to pass directly over a submarine to attack. This created 2 critical failures. First, ASDIC contact was lost during the final approach. The escort went blind at the moment accuracy mattered most. Second, the submarine heard the escort coming and took evasive action during the 30 to 40 seconds between losing contact and weapons release. By the time depth charges reached detonation depth, the U-boat had moved. Hit probability with conventional depth charges was approximately 1 in 60 attacks. The Atlantic campaign needed better. Hedgehog spigot mortars improved matters. 24 bombs fired ahead of the ship in a circular pattern while ASDIC contact remained active. But Hedgehog used contact fuses. The bombs only exploded if they hit the submarine directly. No explosion meant no hit. Crews never knew if they missed the target or if the ASDIC contact was a wreck or whale. Hedgehog kill rate reached approximately 1 in 6 attacks. Better than depth charges, but still inadequate for the U-boat threat Britain faced in 1943. The Admiralty Underwater Weapons Establishment began developing an ahead-throwing weapon with proximity fuses in 1941. The concept combined Hedgehog forward-firing capability with depth-charge, reliable detonation. The weapon needed to fire while maintaining ASDIC contact, deliver warheads large enough to kill through near-miss pressure, and detonate at precise depth automatically. Development took 2 years. The result was Squid. Squid was a 3-barreled mortar mounted on the centerline of escort vessels. Each barrel was 12 inches in diameter and 12 feet long. The system weighed 10 tons complete. Each projectile was a depth charge, weighing 390 pounds, with 207 pounds of minor explosive. Minol was a mixture of 40% TNT, 40% ammonium nitrate, and 20% powdered aluminum. It delivered 20% more blast effect than straight TNT. The firing mechanism used a recoil dampening carriage. All 3 barrels fired simultaneously. The charges launched at different trajectories to create a triangular pattern. Spacing between impact points was 40 yards, forming an equilateral triangle, 120 yards, total spread. The pattern was calculated to ensure a submarine, anywhere within the triangle, took fatal damage from the combined blast effect of all 3 charges detonating. Range was 275 yards ahead of the firing vessel. This kept ASDIC contact active throughout the attack. The escort tracked the submarine continuously from detection through weapon impact. No guesswork, no blind firing. The ASDIC operator watched the target and called corrections until projectiles entered the water. Depth setting was automatic through a hydrostatic fuse. The system set detonation depth based on ASDIC range, and bearing data fed directly from the detection equipment. Human error in depth estimation was eliminated. If ASDIC showed the submarine at 200 feet, all 3 charges detonated at 200 feet. Precision was within 10 feet of set depth. Reload time was 60 seconds using a mechanical loading system. A good crew could fire, reload, and fire again in 90 seconds total. This created the ability to prosecute attacks with multiple salvos. If the first pattern missed, a second followed immediately, while the submarine was still disoriented from near-miss pressure effects. Installation required connecting Squid firing control to the ship's ASDIC system and main depth charge firing table. The integration meant one fire control solution fed all anti-submarine weapons. The tactical officer watched the ASDIC display, calculated the firing solution, and released Squid and conventional depth charge throwers in coordinated attacks. Production began in 1943. Vickers Armstrong built the launcher assemblies. The first production unit was installed on HMS Hadley Castle. 70 Royal Navy frigates and corvettes received Squid installation by war's end. Priority went to Castle-class corvettes and Loch-class frigates, both designed with Squid integration from the keel up. Existing ships received retrofits as yard space allowed. Each installation took 6 weeks, including fire control integration and crew training. Before we examine combat results, if you're finding this technical analysis interesting, subscribing takes a second and supports the channel. Squid entered combat service in May 1943 when the prototype was rushed into service aboard HMS Ambuscade. The first confirmed kill with production Squid came on July 31, 1944, when HMS Loch Killin, working with HMS Starling, destroyed U-boat 333 west of the Isles of Scilly. The engagement demonstrated Squid capability precisely. ASDIC contact at 1200 yards. Firing solution. Calculated. 3 projectiles fired. Pattern entered water 275 yards ahead of the frigate. Triangle formed with submarine at center. Simultaneous detonation. U-boat destroyed. HMS Loch Killin sank. U-boat 736 on August 6, 1944, using depth charges after Squid attacks. HMS Loch achieved kills using Squid tactics. U-boat 325 fell to Squid attack in April 1945. The pattern repeated across multiple engagements. Squid attacks either killed the submarine or forced it to surface where guns finished the job. Combat statistics proved Squid superiority. Between 1943 and May 1945, Squid-equipped vessels achieved 17 confirmed submarine kills. The success ratio was approximately 1 kill per 3 attacks. No other anti-submarine weapon system approached this effectiveness. Conventional depth charges achieved approximately 1 kill per 60 attacks. Hedgehog reached approximately 1 kill per 6 attacks. Squid was 3 times more effective than Hedgehog and 20 times more lethal than standard depth charges. The statistical improvement came from 3 factors. First, maintaining ASDIC contact eliminated blind firing. Second, automatic depth setting removed human error. Third, triangular pattern with simultaneous detonation created inescapable kill zone. A submarine had to move significant distance in the 40 seconds between weapon firing and detonation to escape the pattern. At maximum underwater speed of 7 knots, a U-boat could not clear the kill zone. The geometry was fatal. Comparative analysis against German anti-submarine weapons showed British dominance. Germany had no forward-throwing depth charge system. German submarine hunters used conventional depth charges dropped from stern racks. They suffered the same ASDIC loss problem. British escorts faced before Hedgehog. German kill rates against enemy submarines remained low throughout the war. British Squid achieved unprecedented effectiveness. The capability gap was unbridgeable. German attempts to develop ahead-throwing weapons failed. Prototypes tested in 1944 showed promise but never reached production. German naval yards were building submarines, not escort weapons. Resource allocation favored offensive capability over defensive systems. Britain made the opposite choice, developed the escort weapons necessary to win the Atlantic battle, and deployed them in time to affect the campaign outcome. American anti-submarine weapons development followed different paths. The United States Navy deployed Hedgehog widely, but never developed a depth bomb equivalent to Squid. American Mark IX depth charges used magnetic influence fuses, but remained stern, dropped weapons. Kill rates stayed comparable to Hedgehog effectiveness. The US Navy evaluated Squid in 1944. Trials showed the weapon performed as specified. American destroyer escorts could accommodate the installation. The Navy chose not to adopt Squid for production reasons. American yards were building Hedgehog-equipped vessels at high rate. Switching to Squid would slow production. The British had different priorities. They accepted production challenges to deploy more effective weapons. The result was higher kill rates per engagement. British tactical doctrine integrated Squid into coordinated attacks. Standard procedure involved Squid firing first while maintaining ASDIC contact, then conventional depth charge throwers firing as the escort passed over the target position. The submarine faced weapons ahead and weapons astern simultaneously. Even if Squid missed, the U-boat was forced to maneuver into the depth charge pattern. The combination proved devastating. HMS Loch demonstrated coordinated attack effectiveness in February 1945. ASDIC contact on U-boat 1063 at 1400 yards. Squid fired at calculated range. Pattern detonated around the submarine, but didn't achieve direct kill. The submarine turned hard to port. Depth charge throwers fired as Loch passed over the estimated position. 6 charges detonated. U-boat 1063 surfaced heavily damaged. Gunfire finished the engagement. The coordinated attack gave the submarine no escape option. Post-war analysis by the Royal Navy Anti-Submarine Warfare Division confirmed Squid effectiveness. Documentation showed Squid was the most effective anti-submarine weapon deployed by any navy in World War II. Kill probability exceeded all other systems by significant factors. Maintaining ASDIC contact throughout attack was identified as the critical advantage. Forward firing eliminated the blind approach problem that plagued depth charge tactics. German submarine commanders recognized Squid as a threat they couldn't counter. Interrogation reports from captured U-boat officers in 1945 revealed specific fear of Squid-equipped escorts. Survivors described the weapon effect as inescapable. They heard the projectiles entering the water ahead of their boat. They took evasion, but couldn't outrun the pattern. The simultaneous detonation created pressure waves that crushed hulls or forced immediate surface. Production economics favored Squid despite higher unit cost. Each Squid system cost approximately £8,000 installed. Each Hedgehog cost £3,000. Squid was more expensive, but significantly more effective. Cost per kill favored Squid. British chose effectiveness over economy and proved the choice correct. Squid remained in Royal Navy service through the 1970s. Modified versions equipped Cold War frigates. The weapon proved effective in exercises. No replacement system achieved comparable kill rates until homing torpedoes matured in the 1960s. Squid operational life exceeded 30 years, validating the fundamental design. In April 1977, Type 61 frigate Salisbury became the last ship to fire Squid in Royal Navy service. The Squid anti-submarine mortar demonstrated British weapons development solving tactical problems American and German systems couldn't solve. Maintaining ASDIC contact, automatic depth setting, triangular kill pattern, simultaneous detonation. These weren't incremental improvements, they were revolutionary capabilities that transformed kill rates against submarines. Approximately 1 kill per 3 attacks. No other weapon matched it. British anti-submarine warfare superiority in 1943 to 1945 rested on weapons like Squid. The Atlantic battle turned when U-boats couldn't survive escort attacks. Squid made attacks lethal. 17 confirmed kills with unprecedented success ratio. The mathematics favored the Royal Navy. July 31, 1944. HMS Loch Killin tracked U-boat 333 on ASDIC. 3 projectiles fired simultaneously. Triangle pattern formed 275 yards ahead of the submarine. Detonation at precise depth. U-boat destroyed. That was British naval weapons engineering, identifying what needed to die and building the system to kill it efficiently.